Hey, welcome everybody to the game according to me. This is your boy AJTRIP, and as normal, we're going with our weekly show where we're talking about what's going on in college football and the National Football League. So there's no need to doubt about it. Let's just go ahead and let's jump right into the action. Let's go back to last Thursday, September 14th. The 20th ranked Miami Hurricanes took down Bethune Cookman 48-7. Now to Saturday's actions. Illinois lost to Penn State 30-13. Florida State just skipped by the edge of their chinny chin chin on Boston College 31-29. It was Boston College annual red flag day or like that, where they honor the person who lost his life tragically saving people in the 9/11 attacks. So they had a lot to play for that day, and Florida State just escaped. We've got LSU beat Mississippi State 41-14. Utah beat Weber State 31-7. Notre Dame had a little bit of trouble with Central Michigan, but they beat them 41-17. I think that's a stat that in the last 5 games, Notre Dame has scored over 40 points. So that's something to think about as we're coming into the next week. Iowa, beat Western Michigan 41-10. I saw something on TikTok where they was like, so someone was very skeptical of Iowa scoring a touchdown at the end of the game. Maybe I don't know if it was a joke or if it was real. He also did it with the Rams 49ers game, which we'll get into later. But he's talking about why would you on fourth down with 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter go for it and score a touchdown. What was that all about? So he was trying to make some. Again, I don't know if it was real or if he was just joking around, but I thought it was pretty interesting, pretty funny. Oregon State beat San Diego State 26-9. UNC took down Minnesota 31-13. Alabama had trouble with South Florida, but ended up beating them by 14, 17-3. Let me tell you guys something. Alabama is going back to Jason Milroe, who played in the first couple games, I believe. But let me tell you something. Any team that has Tyler Beckner as their quarterback is not a team that's going to win that game. He was at Notre Dame the last 2 years. He is not a quarterback. He is not. He needs to be playing tight end or fullback or something like that, but he is not a quarterback. He cannot throw the ball. The only thing he can do is run. He cannot throw the ball, and he proved it He proved it with Alabama in this game. He transferred to Alabama because I don't know because they brought in Sam Hartman, I guess. So Notre Dame and Notre Dame looking again a scoring machine. So a lot of they lost both of their quarterbacks. Drew Pine, who I thought was a quarterback, he went to Arizona State, and Tyler Beckner, who was not a quarterback, went to Alabama. I'm surprised Nick Saban. It kind of shows me Nick Saban is losing his stuff, because why in the hell would you take Tyler Beckner? Why in the hell would you start him as your quarterback? So, but they just they had a lightning delay down there. So, but they was able to slip by South Florida 17-3. Georgia again had a bit of a scare, but came out of it with a victory over South Carolina 24-14. South Carolina be the last team to beat Georgia in the hedges. So there's a lot of talk about that. Oklahoma beats Tulsa 66-17. That's going to be a good Red River shootout this year. I think it probably will be a big time shootout. Duke beat Northwestern 38-14. Ohio State beat Western Kentucky 63-10. Washington beat Michigan State 41-7. Did not have Mel Tucker. Last couple of days there have been rumors that Mel Tucker will be fired. I think they're going to give him a week to prove that he did not allegedly sexually assault a woman who came there to speak to the Michigan State football team about sexual harassment. Still, maybe the best story of this short football season, or not best, but just unbelievable story. So I think but they're looking to fire Mel Tucker with cause. because of that alleged incident that did happen. UCLA beat NC Central 59-7. I have no idea what that is. North California Central, I don't know. Northern Colorado lost to Washington State 64-21. Florida beat up on Tennessee 29-16. That's it's been 22 years since Tennessee has beat Florida in Florida, so that should tell you something. Mississippi beat Georgia Tech 48-23. Michigan beat Bowling Green 31-6. Oregon beat Hawaii 55-10. Texas beat Wyoming 31-10. They had a little trouble with Wyoming at the beginning, but Texas came on at the end. Then, of course, the game everybody was waiting for, this amazing game. Colorado beat Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown 43-35 in overtime. There's a lot of penalties, a lot of things, Jay Norvell, who started in the middle of the week, towards the end of the week, saying, when I talk to people, I take off my hat and take off my sunglasses, and that really riled up the Colorado people, and then riled up his own team. That's the Blackburn kid who had the hit on Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter's in the hospital with a lacerated, was it liver or something like that? And he took that hit, and it was on from the beginning. If you can't get along, let's get it on, and that's what they were doing. They were getting it on. But Colorado comes out on top, 43-35. That was the top 25 games of Week 3. Take a look at Week 4 here. I think we're going to start getting some more better games now. As I look here, we have several games where both teams are ranked, and I think we really have some other good games from teams that could not be ranked. We start with Saturday. Michigan hosts Rutgers. One of those games I was talking about. Cincinnati is not ranked, but they're at home hosting Oklahoma, and I think this could be a pretty good game. Oklahoma's blown out everybody they've played yet, but Cincinnati could give them a run for their money. Another one, Florida State, they're Clemson. This is the thing now. If Florida State is going to be a national championship contender, they need to go to Clemson, Death Valley, and beat Florida State. Beat Clemson, excuse me. Clemson isn't the Clemson of the past, decade, but they're still Clemson for right now. They're still Clemson, and I think that's something that they need to be on the lookout for upset. Miami's at Temple. Again, I think everybody have their high set on Colorado versus Oregon. So I think this is going to be the biggest test for Colorado to date. Can they go and that's even with the overtime victory with Colorado State. But now we have Oregon, the 10th ranked Oregon Ducks in Austin, taking on Colorado, and it's a 2:30 kick Central Time, which means that it is a 12:30 kick out on the West Coast. And now maybe from Colorado, maybe you're saying that Colorado, maybe that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Colorado is just a time zone over, but still, those early kicks on the West Coast, college or pro, it's very well, notice that those things, can have a lingering effect on the body. So that's going to be a good game to watch. Probably the second game of the day. We'll get to the first later. Mississippi, Alabama, again, two ranked teams. Mississippi 15th, Alabama 13th. They're going back with Jason Moreau, like I said. Alabama is, and Mississippi, pretty good team. So this is going to be a good matchup. Duke is at Connecticut. The 22nd ranked UCLA Bruins against the 11th ranked Utah Utes. I think this is going to be another good game. Two ranked teams. Let's see what each team has. Tennessee, after coming off that loss to Florida, is taking on a tomato can and University of Tennessee State or whatever. Actually, it's the University of Texas at San Antonio. Excuse me. University of Texas at San Antonio. That should be a tomato can for them. Florida, they got a tomato can as well. The Charlotte 49ers. LSU is taking on Arkansas for the Golden Boot. Oregon State is taking on Washington, 14th ranked Oregon State, 21st Washington State. Now, I think the Pac-12 in the last year that the Pac-12 seems to be the Pac-12, they have maybe like 7 teams ranked in the top 25. So that's really good. They're going out on top. Texas is going to be at Baylor. It's always a tough one, even as good as Texas is. It's always a tough game for Texas going to Baylor. Iowa's at Penn State. Let's see if this high-powered offense that Iowa has all of a sudden can go into Penn State and score some points. UAB is at Georgia. UNC is at Pittsburgh. California is at Washington. USC is at Arizona State. But the game of the day, the 6th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes against the 9th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. To me, this game proves, I think the loser of this game is out of the playoffs. I really do, and not just because they have one, they're going to have one loss, but I think that one of these teams are going to lose down the line as well. I don't expect Ohio State and or Notre Dame to go undefeated. Even though I would love for Notre Dame as a Notre Dame fan to go undefeated. Notre Dame with having USC coming up later, and then also Clemson doesn't look the same, but it's still Clemson. I think they're going to lose to one of those teams, USC or Clemson. So if you lose here to Ohio State, you're not making the playoffs. Same thing with Ohio State. Ohio State may not be exactly what you think it is. So I believe Ohio State. Let me quickly take here for the Ohio State schedule, because Ohio State, not only do you have, excuse me about that, sorry about that, but not only do you have the game at the end of the year against Michigan, but you have to take on Ohio State. Would also have to play Penn State. That it's at home, but they have to play Penn State, and Penn State's been very well. So again, I talked about Notre Dame probably losing one of those 2 games between USC and Clemson. I think Ohio State is going to lose one of those 2 games, if not both, to Penn State and Michigan. So I think this is one of those quote-unquote elimination games. Because the loser to this is probably eliminated from having any contention to making the college football playoff. But this is going to be a great game. It's going to be fantastic. Notre Dame playing the way they are offensively. They get a great running game. And Austin Estime, the feature back, and all the backs behind them are pretty good too. And we'll see what Ohio State is without, C.J. Stroud. So, a lot of their guys, they lost too. Jackson Smith, Najigma. So, going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch it. Ohio State, Notre Dame, the game of the week in college football. And now let's take a look back at this past week of the National Football League. Thursday, the Vikings, with 4 touchdown passes with Kirk Cousins, still cannot beat the Philadelphia Eagles 34-28. 0-2 the Vikings have started off. A lot of 0-2 teams that you didn't think maybe would be 0-2 are now 0-2, and you have to wonder if they are going to, be able to come back. Bengals are one of them. They lost to the Ravens 27-24. Joe Burrow aggravated his calf injury from the preseason. If he cannot go this Sunday, it is going to be Jake Browning under center for the Bengals, and he will get his first start and throw his first pass of the year. So that would be very interesting. And the Ravens, listen, I'm not going to say anything about, Lamar Jackson as of right now. I just know that, he talked about, throwing for 6,000 yards. Right now, it doesn't look like he would be doing it. He would get back to being over, 4,000. But, he's nowhere near what he said he was going to be. And that's it. Odell Beckham Jr. has come up with an injury, but I think Adam Schefter said yesterday that it isn't serious and he should be able to play this coming week. So that's good for them. In overtime, the Seahawks beat the Lions 37-31. Jared Goff threw not only threw an interception, unfortunately threw a pick six, his first in over 360 some odd attempts. Amazing what he's done over in the past year and a half with playing in Detroit. So, and it's a loss, Seahawks. This is one of those things where this is a tough one, I think, for the Lions to lose, but the Seahawks kind of needed it more because they probably shouldn't have lost to the Rams, but maybe the Rams aren't as bad as we thought they were going to be. So that's another question. Colts beat the Texans 31-20. Anthony Richardson, the quarterback for the Colts, got a concussion. He'll be in concussion protocol if he cannot return to the field in time next week. The start of the week, Gardner Minshew, who filled in admirably and helped the Colts beat the Texans 31-20. In Tampa, my Bears lost to the Buccaneers 27-17, and Justin Fields looks like he cannot play the position of quarterback. He really does not. There's the video that is so damning is a video where they're down in Bucs territory, and he goes back to snap, and from what a lot of people said, they were playing three deep, and it looks like his primary read was coming on an end cut, but he was covered by the safety, and he was trailing by the cornerback, or maybe it was another safety. Who knows? I'm not sure. So instead of going through his progressions, right? Because he has three receivers that he can throw to. He can go to the left side of the field. DJ Moore on a little square out is there. He can throw him the ball, pick up 5 yards, make an easier kick for a field goal. He can jump it off to the back, Khalil Herbert, who came out of the backfield. You can try to break some tackles. He's good at that. Maybe get a first down, again, get closer for the field goal. But the one that everybody's talking about is that he has Roshan Johnson on a real route coming out of the backfield who's open. Wide ass open. And he's looking there. And if he throws it, if he just throws it, he's got him for a touchdown. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't throw it. He moves up in the pocket, keeps the ball, because he's waiting for that square end to come open, and he gets sacked, and make the field goal even longer. I think even though they made the field goal, and he was doing that all game, just holding the ball too much. I think he was sacked 6 times. Some people saying that 4 of the sacks was on Justin. I would not be surprised if all 6 was not on Justin. I would be surprised if all 6 was not on Justin. Because he just held the ball way too long. And he made bad decisions and everything like that. And now they have to go to Kansas City and get ramscotched by the Chiefs. Speaking of which, the Chiefs beat the Jaguars 17-9. Chris Jones, first game back, was on the pitch count. Did good. He got a sack. Travis Kelce was back. He scored a touchdown. The crew is all back together now. And the Chiefs now get Chiefs slow start, but they're gonna keep it rolling and probably make a big splash as they always do. Falcons, surprising 2-0 team Falcons beat the Packers 25-24. Bijan Robinson was a master for the Falcons in the backfield, coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. He was great. And the Packers, Jordan Love, he did his thing. Another 3 touchdown game for Jordan Love. He's got 6 already this season. He's not gonna throw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions all season long, but right now he's making the plays that he needs to make to put points on the board, and that's good for the Packers. But the Falcons are 2-0, and that's something that we did not expect coming out of the season. The Bills blew out the Raiders 38-10. Josh Allen, he had 4 touchdowns, made some spectacular plays, played the way Josh can normally play, that we know he can play. That was good to see. Javonte Adams, unfortunately, he got injured with a concussion, and he'll go to concussion protocol. See if he makes the next game for the Raiders. The Titans beat the Chargers 27-24. 0-2 for the Chargers. Now I think this is a big year for Brandon Staley, because if you can't get the quarterback to a place, and from what it seems like, it doesn't seem like it's the offense. Defense. The offense is putting up points, and they're putting up yards. The defense, which is run by Brandon Staley, just isn't stopping anybody right now. I can't stop anybody when they need to. In overtime, Titans beat the Chargers 27-24. Now, I was telling you about the guy that I saw on TikTok talking about the Iowa Western Michigan game. But he also talked about this Rams 49ers game. Now, the 49ers beat the Rams 30-23. And I guess, depending on where you found it, the 49ers was a 7-point or 7.5-point favorite. So, with 4 seconds left, Sean McVay decides to kick a field goal, the score being 30-20. They kick the field goal, is good. It ends up being 30-23. Now, if you had the 7, it's a push. You don't lose any money. But if you had the 7.5, the Rams now cover, and you lose your money. Listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm just retorting to you what the guy was saying on TikTok. Very interesting. The Giants made a big time comeback against the Cardinals. 20-0 it was before the Giants got their first score, and they ended up beating the Cardinals 31-20. Excuse me. Zach Wilson's first start of the year turned out to be a bad one. Cowboys whipped up on the Jets 30-10. Cowboys defense, DJ Reed of the Jets said he thought the Jets defense could be the 85 Bears. The Cowboys defense are looking like the 85 Bears. Micah Parsons is just all over the field. He is probably the best defensive player right now in the game, and that's just no joke. And there's no disrespect to Aaron Donald or Sauce Gardner or anybody else, but I think he's probably the best in this game right now. The Commanders beat the Broncos. They had a comeback as well. Came back from behind on the Broncos. The Broncos did a great thing. It was, they did a Hail Mary at the end of the game. They caught it 35-33, went for 2, did not make the 2-point conversion. The Commanders beat the Broncos 35-33. Sunday Night Football, the Patriots and the Dolphins. Patriots get a great block field goal. Had the guy come down the line and run and block it, which was very great. They had a tail because the holder was the holder for the Patriots, so they knew the tail and they knew how they could, set it up. So that was good. But the Dolphins offensively continues to look very real. Tua Tagovailoa doesn't look like he's not holding anything back from the concussions from last year. And Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle is Jalen Waddle, and they just have speed all around the place. Those two guys, they have speed in the backfield with Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. The Dolphins are something special. They beat the Patriots 24-17. And last night, 2 Monday Night Football games. Great to see. The Saints beat the Patriots 20-7. Panthers, 20-17. Bryce Young 0-2 in his first season with the Panthers, and Derek Carr starting the Saints out 2-0. A lot of people picked the Saints to win that division, but I don't think they expected a 2-0 Buccaneers and a 2-0 Atlanta Falcons to be right along with the Saints. So the Saints are going to have to fight for that division, looks like. And in the second game, the Steelers beat the Browns 26-20. They harassed Deshaun Watson all night long. That defense got some sacks, got some fumbles. T.J. Watt fumble recovery for a touchdown. Just unreal. But I think what people are coming out of that game talking about is Nick Chubb. Unfortunately, having a Willis McGahee-like injury, and was taken off. He is without question done for the season. He had a very bad injury when he was in Georgia. So this is another one, and you just think that nothing but the best for Nick Chubb, and hope he can get back on the field as soon as possible, healthy and able to be the great running back he is right now. One of the top 5 running backs in this game, and unfortunately for Nick Chubb, it just seems like his season is over right now. So as we go ahead and look to week 3, we start Thursday night on Amazon Prime. The Giants are at the 49ers. Listen, the Giants have started rough in these first 6 quarters. They came back in the second half and scored some points, but they're going to have trouble with the 49ers. And Brock Purdy and that defense, they just keep on rolling. So 49ers here should roll. Falcons at the Lions. 2-0 Falcons at the 1-1 Lions. This is the time for the Lions defense to step up. This defense was supposed to be improved, and it looked improved against the Chiefs. But it came up against the Seattle Seahawks, and it was unfortunate they couldn't get anything done. So now's the time. You got to stop the run of B.J. Robinson and make Desmond Ridder beat you through the air. And let's see if the Lions can do that. And for the Falcons, they need to keep doing what they're doing. And you can upset the Lions here, I think people will now start to see the Falcons as someone for real. The Chargers are at the Vikings, battle of the 0-2 teams. It's very hard for an 0-2 team to get to the playoffs. Apparently, the Bengals have done it the last 2 years. So that's amazing. And now, and both times, one year they went to the Super Bowl, and the next year they went to the AFC Championship game. I don't think that's going to happen to these 2 teams. Knowing our luck, this will end up being a tie. But we'll see. The Vikings are at home. It's a 12 o'clock game. Again, West Coast team playing at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock kick on the East Coast. We'll have to see what the Chargers are like. Saints are at the Packers. I think this one is, again, we talk about this same thing. The Packers 1-1. Can they keep things going? Their home opener, and the Saints going 2-0. Can they keep things going? Or are they going to fall to the Packers and I always call him Davis Love, Jordan Love, Davis Love the golfer. But we're going to start with Jordan Love. Texans at the Jaguars. Jaguars should beat the Texans. This should be an easy game for them. Broncos at the Dolphins. Again, I think the Broncos they're just not clicking right now offensively. Even with the output they put on last week, I still think it doesn't look the same. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think their defense has been pretty strong for the most part. Again, despite the output of last week's game for the Commanders' offense, but can they slow down the Dolphins and their high-powered offense? We'll see. The Titans are at the Browns. We're just talking about Nick Chubb being out for the season. We'll see if Deshaun Watson can get back to being the guy that he was before all of this stuff went down. The Titans, they just got to keep it continued. Run the ball, play good defense. Ryan Tannehill don't make any mistakes, they'll get a victory. The Bills at the Commanders. Now, you got some offense going here, so it's all going to be all about the defense. Who defense can get the biggest stop. Or it's going to be about Josh Allen. Can Josh Allen not turn the ball over? We'll wait and see. Colts are at the Ravens. I think whether it's Minshew or Richardson, the Ravens have a pretty good thing here. They should go 3-0. Colts should go to 1-2. Patriots at the Jets. This is going to be, I don't know the last time the Patriots started 0-3. The last time Patriots started 0-2 was 2001 when they went on to win the Super Bowl. The Jets are 1-1. Again, I think this goes to Zach Wilson. Is Zach Wilson the person to do this? Will he play effectively? They've got to run the ball. They got to play good defense, and just have for now Zach Wilson just play the game. Play within himself. And for the New England Patriots, it's really easy. It's just, can you score on the Jets defense like the Cowboys did? If you can do that, great. If you can't, this could be a trouble. Panthers are at the Seahawks. Bears at the Chiefs. This is another Mahomes revenge game. This is a Nagy revenge game. I would expect the Chiefs to blow out the Bears here. Cowboys at the Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals could be the worst team in the NFL. Cowboys are like the best team in the NFL. Should be another blowout. A rivalry unlike any other. Steelers and the Raiders. This should be a heavy-hitting game. Sunday Night Football should be fun. We got another 2 Monday Night Football games. We got the Eagles at the Buccaneers, both 2-0. This is a game to see if the Buccaneers are for real. The Buccaneers don't have to win to be for real, but if they can keep it close with the Eagles, don't make mistakes and anything like that, then I think they're for real. But if it turns out to be a blowout and they're making mistakes and Baker Mayfield's throwing interceptions and losing the football, then I think we know that it could be fool's gold. But who knows? We gotta wait and see if the Buccaneers can see if they're for real. And then the second Monday Night Football game is the Rams and the Bengals. Rams 1-1, Bengals 0-2. If Joe Burrow plays, he got an extra day since being on Monday Night Football. He may be able to play, but again, like I said earlier, if he can't, they're gonna go with Jake Browning in his first start and maybe even in his first passes in the NFL as well. So, and the Rams, what they gotta just do, just keep doing what they're doing. They got a rookie wide receiver that they are just loving to get the ball to, and we'll see if they can. Matthew Stafford can continue with the rookie wide receiver, and if he can, they may have a chance to beat the Bengals, especially if Joe Burrow is out. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's episode of The Game According to Me. Make sure you're back here next week, every Tuesday during the football season. You can hear me talk about college and pro football right here in The Game According to Me, wherever you find your podcast. If you feel like supporting the show and supporting me, several ways to do it. You can go to patron.com/AJTRIP to become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AJTRIP. What you hear on my other podcast, The Word According to Me. Again, wherever you find your podcasts, it should be there. And what video games you want to see me play on Twitch, twitch.tv/AJTRIP20. I have to have the video games, or you'd have to give me the money to buy them or something like that. Although I don't think that's going to be the case. We should just stick with me, playing the games that I have, because the PS5, that's the one thing about the PS5 is that it doesn't have a lot of, space on it. I mean, I had to delete some things that I didn't want to delete so I could put on NBA 2K or this is whatever. Or you can go to link that should be in the description box. It is like podcasters.com/pod/show/Andre Triplett Show/support. And there, the 3 tiers, 99 cents, $4.99, and $9.99. There, you can support me if you want to monetarily. But one of the biggest ways that you can do it if you don't have the money is just to share my podcast. Share it wherever you do it. Share it on your social media. Share it on your Facebook, Twitter, Threads. Share it wherever. Just make sure that you share my podcast if you enjoy it, and no matter what you do, monetarily or not monetarily, I appreciate anything that you do. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate it all. So there you have it. That's this week's episode of Game According to Me. Once again, we'll be back next week previewing and reviewing the National Football League and college football. Like the video. You don't like this, we aren't on video. I will say that, so it's on me. But thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.